This is Three Dog.
How can I help?
This is VGS, the only show where you can sit back, relax, and enter the world of video games. VGS. Introducing your intrepid host, the brutally honest David Spargella.
As you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
And the mind and beard behind all things, Andy Borkowski.
I am a biotic god. Fear me, lesser creatures.
Listen, contribute, and have your say. VGS.
We should probably get going on the show, huh? Because we're going to run out of time if we don't.
Begins now.
Pokemon Go is taking the world by storm, and today we will spend an inordinate amount of time talking about it, despite how much I hate it. I'm Andy Borkowski, host of this program, and I'm joined by Mr. Shaggy Davidson. We missed you last week, sir.
What? What contract dispute?
If you can name that movie reference, please send us an email, vgs@640toronto.com. Yes, for the next hour, we'll discuss everything in the world of gaming, as we often do. Last week was tough. It was just me and a couple of interns, one intern. And now the interns are all gone.
Did you fire them?
I don't think so. I think they just decided not to come in. It's a beautiful day.
It's true. It's always a beautiful day in the city of Toronto.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's a beautiful day to go poke hunting. What? Pokemon Go is still going strong in this city.
Are you still Pokemon going?
I'm not, no.
You quit?
I quit pretty early. I quit about level 7. I want to say level 9.
So once you joined the gym, you quit?
A little bit after. Well, also the gyms in this area are set up to such a high level already.
3,000 Dragonite.
That you can't even... You can't even really take part. You know, it's not a full game. We talked about it a few weeks ago. But this week, we're going to talk a lot about the financial impact that Pokemon Go is having on the video game industry. And we may be talking with a Pokemaster, a real Pokemaster in the city.
Ash Ketchum.
Not Ash Ketchum.
Gary.
He is of a Latino descent.
Brock
is not Latino. Come on, man. What have you been up to? What have you been playing there, Dave?
Honestly, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption.
What?
Yeah,
no way.
I haven't been playing much. I've been really, really busy, so I've been trying to get in as much gaming as I can. But
how are you? Are you playing single player?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. See, when you play those games, that was one of the games that I was so proud of, and this is nerdy as hell, but it was a game that I achieved 100% on. At the very end, you remember how it ends, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that one moment where you destroy the bad guy, so to speak, that's all I'll say. That is when I had a little thing that dinged 100%. And those are the games that way back when you completed games 100%, a lot of people don't know this, you could type it in online and Rockstar would send you a little card.
Oh, cool.
Saying that and like weird little things like that. They did weird little stuff like that, but my God, did I love that.
Even that was 2010. They still did it then?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure they don't do it anymore because of their, ridiculous popularity.
Save trees?
I think they want to save trees.
Send you an email.
Yeah.
So you can print it.
Do you think Niantic would do the same thing if a Pokemaster caught everything?
Didn't Google do that, though?
With what?
The...
I remember that when they had their little Poke Search thing going on. It wasn't with Pokemon Go.
No.
But they had, they sent out some kudos to people that
you got a certificate or something.
Yeah, like a crazy amount of time just looking at Google Maps. Yeah.
No.
Insane.
They have the money for it, for sure.
To do what?
To send out those awards. They're raking in the money.
They're
raking
ridiculous. In a lot of the money, which we'll talk about a little bit later in News of the Week, without question. We're also going to talk a lot about nostalgia and some of the classic 16-bit games. If you ever played Aladdin, if you ever played Jungle Book, if you ever played Lion King, in my case, Hercules,
Hercules.
Those games. If you played those old classic Disney games, we got some great news for you, and we're going to talk more about that. And of course, if you're a Bioware fan, very, very sad news. Their forums are closing. And that, I know, he laughs. It doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but you're going to hear later in the show that this is kind of a big, big loss in a big way. I think we're going to feel it. And I think Bioware is not the gaming studio it used to be. David Spargella.
Yeah.
I want to know more about you. What's going on, man? Tell me about your day.
My day, like today or just since the last time I saw you.
This is just we're speaking. I don't know.
My day consists of eating, working,
Gotcha.
bike riding home, sleeping for an hour or two.
Are you going to see Suicide Squad?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I will not see that.
Even with Margot Robbie.
Don't care.
Hey now.
I don't care. Just give me a YouTube version of her scenes. That's all I want. I will not see that movie. I'm boycotting that movie.
Why? Why are you boycotting?
Stupid. Okay, a couple years ago when they were filming it, they shut down all of Yonge Street, and these idiots. Yeah, I'm not paying money for that garbage.
So, for those that don't know, in the city of Toronto, they filmed Suicide Squad here.
Yeah,
and they shut down our major thoroughfares like Lakeshore and Yonge for long periods of time.
Yeah,
and just for that reason.
Well, because I was trying to get to work because I used to walk to work when I was doing overnights, and so it's all closed off from like Bloor all the way down.
Exciting.
To King. Yeah. So if anybody knows the city of Toronto, you know that's a disaster. Mm-hmm. And one night I was coming home and I was waiting at the bus stop and all of a sudden I hear just insanity.
Yeah.
And it's that pink Joker car. They were filming that. So I'm like, that's another reason I'm not seeing that movie.
The Lamborghini, right? That just went by.
Just chaos.
So it frightened old man Spargala.
Yes, I was very fragile that morning.
You know, they recorded some stuff right outside the studio.
Who cares?
But that might be cool. Like when you see movies, you rarely get to see like, oh yeah, that's my building right there. That's kind of neat.
Didn't they film that Dr. Dread movie? No, it wasn't Dread.
No,
it was
RoboCop.
RoboCop, that's what it was. Sam Jackson, yo.
All right, let's talk about games. What's happening this week?
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Tom
Got your tickets yet?
He's here again. For what?
Tom Jones. Cinerama.
I would not do that.
We got VIP. Of course, we don't pay for that.
We're white glove. We go wherever we want.
Yes.
This is the segment where we talk about the games that are coming out in the next week. 7 days, Sunday to Sunday. And absolutely number one has to be one of the biggest games of the year. It's a game that a lot of people are anticipated for. No Man's Sky is coming out on PS4 and PC on August 9th on this Tuesday. For those of you that are not familiar, you probably don't listen to the show or know anything about video games, but it is created by a very small studio, Hello Games, that is essentially making a world. They appeared on The Tonight Show a few times. They're making a world where you could travel anywhere in a galaxy and make choices for these planets that will affect the wildlife. And it's really exciting for gamers because it's the first real chance, this is what they're showing it as anyway, that you can explore and the world will be your own based on the choices you made. When so many games try to push you down a narrow path, try to tell you a story, this is a game that's just a huge sandbox and people are going crazy for it.
Are you going crazy for it?
No. Why? You know me though. Like hey, what? I'm not. Listen, I can appreciate that it's probably going to be brilliant. Like even the Call of Duty games that you love. Like I know those are good games.
No,
but I can't get into them. I really can't. And this one, it might be fun to use for a little bit. You're exploring a big galaxy, but I don't think it's gonna. I need a story, man. I need something to do.
No, it's true. Just stories are key. Very. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
88 Heroes. I'm excited for that. It's coming PC and Steam. It is, I'll read you the tagline. The 88th president of the Earth calls for an urgent crisis. 88 leaders from 88 countries around the world are summoned to the Octagon. With a planet bankruptcy, paying ransom is not an option. Infiltrate Dr. 8's evil super lair and retrieve the 8-digit coordinates. So there's an 8 fetish in this game. Basically, you play as a magical octopus that creates little squares in a 16-bit world. But it has one little caveat. You have 88 minutes to beat 88 levels with 88 lives. So they've put it all together, and there's a reason for it, too. It's not arbitrary. I think it might be pretty fun.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
What's it got on Metacritic?
I think it's 73 or something.
Oh, not even 8?
It doesn't have an 8.
Oh,
no.
Come on.
Well, if it 8, they would not be happy if it was 8%.
They have to do it. It's like Spinal Tap on IMDb. It's got 11.
One game that we look up right at the end that we aren't really familiar with. Usually it's Asian and hilarious. This week we have Ray Giant. So I'm just going to type that in.
Ray Giant.
Ray Giant or Gigant. Do you think it's Giant or... Well, it's another G.
How do you spell it?
Well, Gigant.
Gigant.
Yeah, Gigant, but that just seems uncomfortable.
And
So this is a crazy Japanese game, a dungeon crawler RPG that has a mix of 8-bit with a little bit of Final Fantasy. It's coming out this week. It has a 72 on Metacritic already. Oh, man, it is strange. It is weird. It's like Doom levels that you walk around in. You have 3 different characters, like Tekken little fighting things. You see this thing?
Yeah, I can't get it. I get something else. I'll just look at your screen later.
All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here as quickly as we can. All right, next up, News of the Week with Shaggy Dave. Right after this, got to take a quick break, and we'll be talking more about video games on VGS.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here, VGS, talking games for this beautiful weekend. The Olympic Games already underway.
Do you care?
Not even a
Either.
little bit.
Let's move on.
It's, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Of course, joined by Shaggy Dave, talking everything gaming. A lot of Pokemon Go this week. It's still making waves. There's just too many people playing it. I don't really want to talk about it anymore, you know? Like, it's not really my jam. Dave, is it your jam? Because I should say, you don't drive in vehicles.
No.
You are a biker, maybe
Walker.
some public transit. Like, so
I care about the environment.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. But this game is for you, like, entirely in terms of that. Like, this is everything in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I admit, like, I rode my bike down here and I had my phone out and I wasn't even paying attention. That's how.
Oh, because you're a Pokemon.
But I'm a good bike rider, so I don't.
But that's what I'm saying. This game is for you, but this is like a really sweet thing you're talking about, riding your freaking bike.
It's not that sweet.
Are you still playing the game?
Yeah. I caught a war turtle on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just outside the studios here, man.
But are you still playing it without, like, Pokevision and all those things?
I don't use any of that.
See, you're a purist. A lot of people don't do that.
Of course I am.
I guarantee this Pokemaster we're trying to get on the line, he used those things. I guarantee it.
Oh, wait. The one.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah, we got to give him a call, but not yet. We got to talk about other stuff. I need to give you your chance to shine with News of the Week with Shaggy Dave.
This week in gaming.
I've got to do the
It's been just less than a month, but Pokemon Go has already made over $160 million. People need their Pokecoins, their lucky eggs, and their Pokeballs. Now, sticking with Pokemon Go, what is the deal? We aren't allowed to have legendaries, so that means the Ohio couple who claimed to have caught Articuno earlier this month will have it pulled from their account. If I were them, I'd be saying this.
On planet bullshit! In the galaxy of this sucks camel dicks!
If you're still playing Overwatch, you can pick up some brand new Olympic-themed loot boxes. They're up for sale now until the end of the games. $2 for 2 boxes. You get skins, emotes, poses, and icons. There's just something a little odd about Roadhog in an Olympic outfit, though. Some Civ 6 news. The legendary Sean Bean is being handed a very important role. You may remember he voiced the trailer for Civ 6. Now he's going to be narrating the tech tree for about 600 hours. Let's just hope he doesn't die by the end of it.
For England, James? No. For me.
I had to wait for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Waiting.
We're back here, VGS. Nice one there, Dave. News of the Week. Always impeccable.
Thanks.
A lot of money. We're at $160 million, Pokemon Go.
Should have invested.
What?
We should have invested.
Well, the Canadian pension plan actually invested in Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. What's your source? The Canadian pension plan?
The Canadian pension plan. I called them up, the CPP. No, they did. They invested in a lot of video game companies. So when Pokemon Go first started really blowing up for Nintendo.
So the first week?
Yeah. We had people that are literally part of the Canadian government coming out and saying, like, this is great. Let's make sure we keep doing this. So it's helping a lot of people. The stock prices have went down a little bit, but it's still a money-making machine. And so many people are playing this damn game. Mm-hmm. Too many people.
Is there a problem with that?
Yes.
Why?
There's a problem with that because in the world of Pokemon, there can only be one Pokemaster.
Oh.
And in the city of Toronto, a Pokemaster has been crowned.
Not me.
His name
Spoiler.
is Roberto Vasquez. He claims.
Yes, he claims.
This tricky man claims that he has captured all of the available Pokemon in North America.
No way.
He said all of them.
All of them.
143.
He's got a Mew. Oh, 143.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Or 143 or 142. So he can't get a Psyduck because apparently those are in Asia.
No, Psyducks. There's one right outside the studio all the time.
Listen.
It's a Farfetch'd.
I'm just, is it a Farfetch'd?
I don't know.
Was the one?
What's
I
the name
forget
enough?
these names, these stupid Pokemon. But he's waiting for that, and also the legendaries, which you heard in News of the Week as well, are unavailable. So he's spent an ungodly amount of time capturing them all, and we will have the one Pokemon master on right now. Let's give him a call.
Didn't he say he lost weight too?
Yeah, he lost like 25
There's fire alarm
pounds.
going on in the back.
Oh, is there? I don't think they can hear us.
We'll wait.
Yeah. Radio.
All right, let's get this call.
Yeah, let's call this. Let's call this Pokebastard.
Okay,
let's find out.
Let's call him.
Pokemon, I know you make a Poke, and I saw any Poke on the street, I'm gonna suplex him, I'll put him in the camel clutch, I'll make him humble. Pokemon, remember.
All right, so that's obviously not the real Pokemaster. That is some
The Camel
of
Clutch Master.
The Camel Clutch Master, the lauded words of the Iron Sheik, the crazy old wrestler whose mind has gone to mush.
Yeah, he. I saw it on Instagram and I couldn't resist.
But that guy does exist, Roberto Vasquez. We called him a bunch. He was going to be on the show, but now when we call, unfortunately, Dave, this is what we got. That's it.
No, we get this. I don't know what that noise is.
Yeah, it's just a noise that comes in.
Sorry, there's no more room to record new messages.
So the Pokemaster is avoiding us. If you're listening to this, Roberto, call in quick because we want to talk to you, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the Pokemon League calling him, right?
It's got to be the Pokemon League calling him. He's needed elsewhere.
It's Lance.
Yeah, he's needed elsewhere. But you know what we're going to do actually after this?
What?
We're going to take a quick break, and then, Dave, I'm going to try to convince you to play.
Sorry, I'm playing the bicycle theme, and someone just drove by on a bicycle.
I'm going to try to convince you to play some of the games that came out this week, and then you and I are going to make our listeners feel disgusted talking about Disney games from 1992.
Nothing wrong with that, but okay, let's go. This is VGS, Talk Radio. But Cycling Road, AM 640.
Just awful.
Now back to Video Game Sophistry with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here, thank goodness, no more Pokemon. Andy Borkowski, VGS, joined by Shaggy Dave. Our interns are absent today. They are fired. If you're listening, guys, sorry.
Especially you, Rich.
No, please come back. We need your help. The show where we talk all about video games. We already discussed a lot about Pokemon Go, how it's changing the landscape. There's one big game series, Dave. I think if you had to think of a classic game series that you really, really love, we're going to talk about classic games in the next 20 minutes. But I think Batman and that lore might be your favorite.
There's only 4, I guess.
There we go.
Yeah, agreed.
No, but I'm not just saying but just Batman games. Like when a game comes out.
Oh, anything Batman. Lego Batman. I love Lego Batman.
Yeah, anything Batman. Like you said, anything Batman. And there's a new Batman game that came out this week. I'm not going to say its name yet, but it is one of the most alternative ways you could ever play a Batman game. For those listening that aren't familiar, Telltale creates these choose-your-own-adventure games that are very similar to the books from the 80s and 90s, where you pick a path and then things are completely different depending on the choices you make. They've made some really great games in the past. I know we both love The Walking Dead and the series they did there. Not the biggest fan of Game of Thrones when they did that.
I thought it was okay. I like the Wolf Among Us. I thought they did a really good job.
Especially
because it's like fairy tales.
Yeah. Well, by far the best. Really, really cool and fun. And, they got to keep doing stuff like that. But this week, they decided it would be a good idea. I don't know why.
Why?
To jump into one of the most iconic worlds ever created, the world of the Dark Knight.
Oh boy,
that's my best Kevin Conroy.
It sounds like you were drowning in Jabba the Hutt.
That's what, okay. Whoa, damn,
in
man.
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, in him.
I'm not saying you are.
That's better. I thought I was insulted, but I realized I was just inside of.
Where's your frogs?
What?
Where's your frogs that you got to eat? Where the hell they are?
All right, so we're bringing back a classic feature. Andy convinces Dave. I have 1 minute to convince him to play a game in which I think is great. He doesn't know a lot about, and then afterwards he decides, and we cry because he usually says no. Ready, Dave?
Sure. Let's go.
Andy convinces Dave. Na 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 na.
So Telltale's new Batman game, the episode 1, has released in the last 7 days. In this game, we get to see both sides of the Dark Knight. You're given choices that have a lot to do with Bruce Wayne, and that's a lot of what the Batman games miss. It's always about playing Batman, that Batman world. In the Telltale games, though, you really feel like there is a duality between both worlds. Playing as the Dark Knight and the tough choices you need to make to get rid of crime, but also playing as Bruce Wayne and making those tough choices that will affect what it's like to be Batman. Are we still going? Yes, there's still more time. You get to get some amazing characters. You see Falcone in this episode. A lot of great stuff with Catwoman. Depending on the choices you make, you can really plaster Falcone on the wall or, help him in some ways. There's a little criminality aspect here. Kevin Conroy's in it. Troy Baker's in it. Big names that you love. And this is the very first Telltale game to include some multiplayer. So that means if you're playing the game, you give me a code and I can help make choices to kind of ruin your experience.
Kevin Conroy's in it?
Yes.
Is he really?
Oh, God, I hope so. Yeah, he is. He is in it.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in it. Kevin Conroy's in it.
No, I didn't see that.
Yes, he's in it.
Oh.
So Batman episode 1. Thoughts?
I was going to get it regardless, man.
That's not what you're supposed to say.
Well, you convinced me even more. I'll pay double for this game.
Okay. So you're into it?
Yeah, man. I always wanted to see what you could do. I think they can go really dark with this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, what's his name? Christopher Nolan movies.
Christopher Nolan movies.
They went, well, not so dark, but...
No, they're pretty gritty. They were, they're the Dark Knight,
yes.
as they say. But, no, this, I really like I said, in that amazing feature we just went over, the idea that you actually get to play as Bruce Wayne a little bit adds a lot more. I had no idea you could have so much fun just playing as that billionaire and not putting on the cowl. But it's...
Can you just tell me one thing?
Sure.
Can you go on dates as Bruce Wayne?
You have not done that yet.
Oh.
I know, but that could be fun. And it's short; it's 2 hours. But you opt instead of getting this episode to episode, you prefer to grab it in one big slice.
Yeah,
right?
I can't play those games like that. It's just it's too much. I'll forget what I did. That's what I did with what's it called, Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's that. Again, I'm gonna get it. I'm really excited.
There
for
you go.
it.
Andy wins. We gotta take a quick break. Right after this, we'll be coming back talking about some classic games from the 90s that are getting a reboot. And I need to bend your ear about the importance of game forums. I know that sounds ludicrous, but give it a chance. Oh, what is this?
Animated series thing.
Oh, nice. Dave. I don't even want to leave. I just want to listen to this. Let's watch some Batman on the break, all right?
No.
Okay.
I can't watch with you.
Seven, I think it is.
1995?
Oh,
I think 4.
It's all a
90s.
blur. Those 90s.
God love them.
So the reason we're talking about this on our video game show is because this week we heard some great news from a service called Good Old Games. If you've never used it before, GOG.com, they offer, as you would imagine, all the old games of the past at amazing rates, and more than that too, they just offer them because a lot of games, like, you can't really play them. Like if you try and find your CD-ROM or your disc in some cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, a floppy disk, a cassette.
Cassette, yeah, it's like a
Not
cassette.
a cassette, a cartridge, maybe?
Cartridge.
Cassette.
It's late.
Trying to listen to this, my goodness.
6-7 days a week here.
There you go. But They actually offer them with this service. So the amazing thing was this week, Good Old Games announced they will be offering 3 big titles that helped create and mold our childhood. Yes, indeed. Come on, boys and girls, you remember this tone. Prince Ali, Ablisi, Ali Ababa.
Is that the words?
I hope so.
It sounds right.
It sounds right, yeah. This is Aladdin the game, the Sega Genesis classic. Did you ever play this game?
No, I didn't play this one. I love the movie, though. Does that help?
No, it doesn't help. What
I can tell you the ending of the game.
All right. Does the good things happen for Aladdin?
Jafar is the devil.
So this is from Virgin Games and Disney Software, 1992. It's 16-bit, so more than 8-bit. It was a classic platformer. It had a poo, not a poo. Yeah, it is a poo.
Apu's Simpsons.
Yes, it is. But it was really, really fun, and it was great because all these games that we're about to mention come from an era where you as a kid could go to the movie theater, come home, and play a game that was the movie you just saw. Mm-hmm. That was our childhood. For a lot of kids growing up now, they don't get to see that. That's not something that happens. Like
an adaptation of it.
Yeah, there's not movie tie-in video games really anymore.
No, not at all.
Because they cost too much money. Like video games cost way too much money. At this time, this cost like $14 to make.
Not even.
And it was on the NES and Game Boy originally, and eventually went on the Genesis. A lot of these are Genesis games. Mm-hmm. But Good Old Games, you could pick that up for... Actually, let's continue. There's more than just the one game there. We also have The Lion King. One of your favorites, David.
Absolutely. We'll play this.
It starts.
So if you're listening now, really try to listen, because we want you to guess where this came from. What scene is this? What boss, what battle is this in the 1994 game, The Lion King? First came out on NES, Game Boy, and Super NES.
Could you imagine playing it on Game Boy?
I can't. But Super NES and Genesis in 1994. If you know what that is, play it a little bit again. You play just a little bit.
I gotta rewind it.
Yeah, just a little. So really try to listen. If you are familiar with this, please send us an email, VGS@640tron.com, or go to our Facebook page, Video Game Sophistry, the YouTube VGS, and tell us what it is, and we'll have something special for you. Can't tell you what it is, though, because it is a secret. But Lion King, the Genesis game, also coming out, now available. You remember playing this game?
I do. I remember faking being sick at school so I could go over to my friend's house and play Super Nintendo.
How old would you be at that time? It's 94.
94? Like 6.
So you're 6, and you were able to convince your parents.
I had, that's the time. I remember like one specific time I had Lunchables.
Yeah.
And I faked like I had a stomach ache, so I couldn't eat those Lunchables even though I wanted to. I had to have like some crappy soup.
and that was also you could play Lion King.
Yeah, because my mom was working at a friend's house at the time.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and all my friends were at school, so I would just go on their soup, and I'm like, "Oh, can I play?" And
can I play?
I wouldn't ask my mom. She'd be like, "No, go to bed."
Of course.
And so I asked my friend's mom, "Yeah, go ahead." So then I would just chill down there.
But it's funny that you remembered that you couldn't, because you said you have a stomach ache. Yeah,
so
the lie.
And it was the good one too. It was the pizza one. Remember those ones?
The pizza one is one of the best. You can make some ridiculous abominations.
Yeah, I know. It was a damn shame.
Speaking of ridiculous abominations, that also includes the Jungle Book game, which I never really played.
No, I never played. I never got into the Jungle Book.
No, just as a series.
I like the bare necessities, but that's it.
Well, the movie was one thing, but that game I think was really outshined by Aladdin and The Lion King for these classic games. So you get to hear Dave's, of course, his favorite. Mm-hmm. Now there's a game that for me is a little bit older. I'm a little bit older than Dave, that I loved. It was from 1997. Disney's Hercules. Yes, indeed. It actually came out for the PlayStation. This is the first. Ooh. Yeah, this is one of the first PlayStation 1 games that I had. And listen closely, boys and girls, because I want you to try and guess what this iconic boss fight was from the game.
Thank you and good night. I don't know.
Nothing?
No.
Okay, well, I think someone will. Play it one more time for him. The slippery sound.
And good night.
All right, so if you do know, send us an email, like we said, VGS@640toronto.com, or on the Twitters or anything, just connect with us. But this game for me, I have a kind of similar story. I remember being a kid, and it was on the PlayStation 1, and I had told my parents that I was really, really scared of this game.
Really?
But here's the evil machinations of young Andy Borkowski. I told them that because I know I got some parents that are big into learning and changing people. So I would tell them that I was scared of this, and they would say, okay, Andy, well, how about you just try to play a little bit every day so that you're not afraid?
Oh.
And then I got a chance to play every day since I was afraid. And now, close to 20 years later, my God, 20 years later, we have our own video game show here on 640 and across the country. What are your favorite games? What are the games that really... Oh, what is that?
Overwatch.
It sounds like Overwatch. But this is one of the more iconic... Oh, I can't even...
You're listening to VGS with Andy Borkowski and David Spargala on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Andy Borkowski here.
Is that you?
No, it's not my name. It's Andy Borkowski. Oh. But let's give him a break. It happens.
Hey, I'm surprised he got Spargala right.
I'm surprised that he's not crying after listening to that last segment we had.
He is. He cried during the
he did
break. So did we, man.
We listened to the whole Michael Bolton
box
song.
Box of Kleenex again?
That's not Kleenex. So far we've talked a lot about classic games, Pokemon Go, everything great here in our video game show. I want to turn the tables a little bit, as I do with my turntables, and talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. We here at VGS have gotten the opportunity to be on the radio, I think a lot because of the coverage and support of a lot of fans of Bioware games, the Mass Effects, the Dragon Ages, other games like that. And I've talked a lot about the team members there and the great social things that those games are trying to do. They advocate for different genders, they advocate for different races, and they take a step forward in a medium that usually is not known for its progressive thinking. A lot of that manifested in the Bioware forums of this company. It was a free forum where people had the opportunity to express themselves, and we're announcing today, in the last few days rather, that the forums are now closing. Bioware is shutting them down. I decided that we needed to take a look back at what the forums have done for gaming and what they've done really for us here at VGS. As you're already aware, the Bioware social network forums are now inside of a year going to be closed down. A release was sent out from Bioware outlining their plan. Effective August 26th, we'll no longer be able to have access to Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and Legacy Bioware titles in the BSN network. For many of you who've watched my videos and who've helped me really make this channel into a real job and radio show, the Bioware social network has been instrumental in a lot of the success that I've had. I don't know if I would have a show if it wasn't for that ability to directly engage with people that seem to care what I was talking about, even slightly. It's not the most popular way that I've communicated. It's not necessarily my best videos, but it really gave me a lot of the credibility to speak to David Gator, Patrick Weeks, all the voice actors, most of the Bioware team, and then, of course, your support once you've seen these videos and these interviews and really enjoying it and compelling me to feel as if I'm doing something right. As for the decision, I withhold judgment, but would say that Bioware games, in my estimation, are about inclusion. They're about creating realistic human things. They are able to very easily personify complex ideas and conceits into people. Something that's hard for us really to understand can be put into a person's goals, really, really expertly done. It gives us the chance to see for the very first time someone of your specific gender identity just living in a world. It gives us, and sometimes the very first time, the ability to experience a forbidden love in some way that isn't scorned upon. So it's about inclusion. It's about building something real. And I think a chief component of that is the idea of communication. So many of you who are watching and listening take chances and become a big part of these created stories. And the fact that that will be lost in an official capacity is deeply saddening. But the deeper concern, the thing that hits me more in where I live, is that we won't have that connection with developers. And there's always bad signs to this. Remember David Gator back in 2013 said that spending too much time at the BSN forums starts to make me feel negative, not just about games we make, but about myself and life in general. So there is a toxicity that has to do with this groupthink mentality. But every developer I speak to, every real company that does this for a living, stresses the importance of that communication. That direct line with the fans that they know will buy anything they make and want to have the best experience they can. Now, in this press release that Bioware sent out, they do address this, saying we can now travel around the world meeting with you face-to-face at events like PAX, CDC, and even shows in our own backyard. We can share stories with you on the go, giving you a look behind the scenes on sites like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. In turn, you've built your own fantastic communities in places like Tumblr and Reddit. You've created comprehensive wikis and countless pieces of fantastic art, fiction, and cosplay. With so many great things so widely available, our developers today find themselves spending more time on other sites and less time in our own forums. And to our fans and players who came to those boards looking to talk to us, it was a great disservice. Interesting premise, the idea that we're not having that connectivity because it's not as popular. That's kind of their fault, I guess. It's not really something that the fan base could control. So I think it is with a heavy heart that they've made this decision. I think it is an incorrect decision for the people that really enjoy this. And personally, I do think that it's concerning. I'm worried that this is a fulcrum for what this company is choosing to be now, from the most inclusive, interesting, exciting, innovative video game companies I've ever had the pleasure of playing the games and speaking with, to something a little more less in some ways. Now, as for thank yous, I first came to this community, I remember accidentally reading the end of Mass Effect 2, which was put in some of the headline titles of this. So I've been there for a while. I was here, the first interviews I did with the retake Mass Effect people from Mass Effect 3, some of the very first interviews I did on Dragon Age, and of course a lot of the Dragon Age videos that I was able to post, to have a main line to people that actually cared about what I had to do to be able to talk to developers as a result. These people here ingratiated this strange deep voice fool into a community that spoke the same language. So I want to thank you all very, very deeply from the bottom of my heart for that inclusion. And I hope that wherever all of these like-minded people choose to lay their heads, they find that level of inclusion, because I would hate to see this community go merely because the creators of it, the facilitators, don't have the ability to keep up. Bioware will keep going on. The BSN network might not, but I hope that in the next little while you can still see more content, still see the support, and still be an active part of at least what I'm doing. Kila Salai.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
A teary-eyed episode this week.
I'm so upset. I'm ready to cry.
It is. I was crying about the Bioware forums. We got to do some quick thank yous to, of course, Andy Borkowski and Shaggy Dave. Phenomenal human beings. If you were listening to our segment where you had to guess the audio that tied up with those classic games, remember to send us an email, vgs@640toronto.com. Who else do we have to thank?
Robin Williams.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Always.
And who else?
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton, yes.
All right. Okay. Next week, I'm not going to be here, so don't even bother listening.
Fun.
Yeah, don't bother listening. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to listen to us.
You're welcome.
VGS640toronto.com /VGS.
/VGS.
This is Games, and I am Andy.
And I'm Dave.
Goodbye.
Talk to you next week.
Without a doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.